feel it. The ground is literally shifting under your feet. The old rules, they're just not going to cut it anymore. So today, we're going to walk through a brand new leadership playbook, one designed specifically for this wild age of AI and, let's be honest, constant ambiguity. First up, let's dive right into the AI Leadership Challenge. And I promise you, this isn't just another buzzword. It's a force that is completely reshaping what it even means to be competitive, no matter what industry you're in.
It really all starts with this number. A recent IBM report found that a staggering 75% of CEOs believe competitive advantage doesn't come from the old places anymore. They believe it now depends on one thing: who has the most advanced generative AI. This isn't some trend on the horizon. This is happening right now.
Now, what's really wild is that this AI revolution isn't happening in some nice, stable, predictable environment. Oh no, it's exploding inside a world that the military has a perfect acronym for: VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So you, as a leader, are navigating a massive technological tidal wave in the middle of a hurricane.
And look, this isn't some hypothetical future. Just look at how AI is being used today. We're talking about Amazon using predictive analytics to ship you something almost before you even decide to buy it, or Google's AI mastering games that are way more complex than chess. We've got systems that can recognize faces better than humans can, and others that are running entire cities. The game has already changed.
So, in a world this complicated and moving this fast, how on earth can any leader possibly keep up, let alone get ahead? Well, the answer isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about having the right frameworks to find them. It all starts by asking the right kind of question. How do you reframe all that chaos? The goal here is to go from feeling totally overwhelmed by a crisis to taking control of a problem that you can actually, solve. Okay, so the first tool in our new playbook is the SMART framework. This is all about taking a vague, messy challenge and forcing it into focus. In an age where AI can just flood you with endless data, this is more critical than ever. It forces you to be specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. Think of it as a filter for all the noise. Let's see this thing in action. Take the Carne E. coli crisis. The vague problem was just find the source of the E. coli. I mean, where do you even start? That's huge. But the SMART problem, that became, within 3 days, identify the specific source to inform our public statement and prevent it from happening again. See the difference? One is a panic attack, the other is a plan. So, you've used a framework to define the problem. Awesome, but that's only half the battle. Next, you have to communicate in a way that actually has an impact, getting your entire team aligned and moving towards that solution with total clarity.
And this is where the pyramid principle comes in. It's brilliant. It completely flips traditional storytelling on its head. In this crazy VUCA world, you just don't have time to build up to a conclusion. So instead, you start with it. You state your answer right up front, and then you provide all the supporting arguments. It shows you respect everyone's time, and it gets them focused immediately. And if you don't do this, you risk hearing these absolutely brutal words. This is a real quote from a senior executive to a poor presenter who was just drowning them in facts. By the time the presenter finally got to his point, he had lost all credibility. The lesson is crystal clear. Lead with your insight.
But listen, structured thinking and clear communication are just tools. They're only effective when you use them with a deeply human skill: empathy. You can have the most brilliant, logical argument in the world, but if you can't understand the situation from your team's perspective, their fears, their concerns about AI, what really motivates them, your message is going to fall flat. Empathy is the bridge. And that brings us to the real heart of this new playbook. Because the most powerful solutions, the biggest breakthroughs, they don't come from a single heroic leader. They come from a team that feels empowered to contribute, to challenge, and to innovate together. And the absolute foundation for that kind of team is psychological safety. Now, this isn't just about being nice. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe enough to speak up, to ask a dumb question, to admit they made a mistake, or to take a calculated risk, like experimenting with a new AI tool, without any fear of being shamed or punished for it. Just look at the night and day difference here. In a fear-based environment, what do people do? They hide their errors. And when that happens, problems get worse and innovation just dies. But in a psychologically safe environment, failures are treated like gold. They're just data. They're learning opportunities. Dissent isn't disloyalty. It's a vital part of finding the actual best answer. And this has literal life or death consequences. Studies in hospitals found something that will blow your mind. The teams that reported more errors actually had fewer patient deaths. Now wait, how is that possible? It's because they weren't actually making more mistakes. They were just more willing to talk about them. Problems were being brought into the light and solved, not hidden in the shadows out of fear. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. How do you take all this and actually become a future-ready leader in this complex world? I love this quote from Charles Handy. The old heroic manager felt they had to know everything, right? But the post-heroic manager, the modern leader, is focused on one thing, developing the capacity of their team. So let's be perfectly clear, the new leadership isn't about trying to absorb all this complexity yourself. I mean, that's just an impossible task. It's about creating the conditions, the structure, the communication, and the safety for your team to find the answers together. Your job is no longer to be the hero. Your job is to be the architect of a team that can solve anything. And that leaves us with one final, critical question to ask ourselves. In this new world of AI and ambiguity, it's pretty much the only one that truly matters. Are you building that team?